big cow. Those are moose nuggets. And as you can see, a lot of wood and bark in there. That is a little bull moose. Well, this is where the glacier was in 1961. That is Exit Glacier. Well, hello. It is Steve with Northern Footprints, and I am on another adventure. And yes, I'm still sore from the other day, but hey, that was part of the fun. Got me a campfire going, sitting by a river. I'm surrounded by snow-capped mountains. And I'm out just doing my thing. Got my Vanagon, so I've always got a nice warm bed to crawl into. And this is my view. So welcome aboard on another adventure. We are in Seward, Alaska, and we're probably going to do some hiking in the rain tomorrow. But for tonight, we're going to sit here and enjoy a campfire. Well, good morning. I am still being lazy here in bed. It's pouring rain outside, so I figured I would just chill for a little bit, turn the heater on and knocking the coolness out of the air, and I'll get dressed and then I'm gonna go hiking, I think, as soon as it quits raining a little bit. Yeah, another beautiful wet day in Seward. But that's Seward for you. I know I lived here for a little over a year, so it tends to rain here. Still a beautiful place. You just got to get out and do stuff regardless of what the weather's doing. As you can see, not going to be much of a view today, so I want to roll up towards the glacier and take a look. The wind's blowing, it's drizzling, and it's not real warm. So we're gonna call it. If we can't see real well down there, we may not go out Exit Glacier, but we'll find out. This is Kenai Fjords National Park, Exit Glacier. And I will show you as we go down towards the glacier. The glacier is right back there. I'll show you how they started tracking the glacier as it retreated and when. So this is where the glacier was in 1815. And then it was right here in 1889. I'm sure the wipers hit that one perfect. And then 1894. And it was full width in this valley back then. And this valley is about a mile wide right here. As you can see, in the late 1800s, it was receding pretty fast. Sorry, I ate something and now it's fighting with me, so glacier's right over there. Well, not just right. It's back there a ways. nice thing about this time of year is there's nobody here hardly. It just opened a little while ago. So I'm gonna park, I'm gonna go in. So when I moved here in 1999, the glacier was right about here. So in the last 26 years, it's receded about that much. And I've seen bears out here and all kinds of fun stuff. This is where the trail starts. We got pavilions and all kinds of stuff here. This is a real touristy spot. So this is where the glacier was in 1917. So over 100 years ago. And it's receded about a mile. I think it's 9/10 of a mile from here. 1926. The glacier's receded about 100 yards in 10 years. So here's some fun. See, all the bark is missing off of these birch trees. That is what moose do. You can see their teeth marks. Moose only have teeth in their lower part of their jaw. And they will sit there and eat the bark during the winter months. This is what it looks like up close. You can see where their teeth will grab and pull at the bark, and then they just peel it off and eat it. And they eat. There are spots all over through here where they've been eating. I'm sure several moose winter down here during the winter months. There's some back there too. They've really improved this trail a lot. When I first moved here 25 years ago, you had to walk through all these little creeks, and this was a goat path. They've added benches and all kinds of cool stuff. So here's where the glacier was in 1951. As you can see, it's still quite a ways back here. Almost off the asphalt. So there's the last bench, and that was where 1951 was. This is called the Glacier View Pavilion. It's a nice little setup. It's more of a little break area nowadays. You used to be able to see from here the glacier, but as you can see, things have grown up. If you follow this trail down, it takes you down to the glacial wash. But I can hear the water, and I know if I go down there, I'll be wading through the water, so we're not gonna do that. Ice cold water is still cold. It comes directly off the face of a glacier. More moose eating trees. And this is where the trail turns into gravel. There's some of last year's moose turds. Boy, they were busy this last winter. They ate a whole bunch of tree. mark off. Another little bridge. I'll have to come back and do that trail when a little bit later, probably mid-June, early July. You go up there right now and you're just going to be in waist deep snow. So the outwash is right over here. I'll take a walk down there. What the heck? So what the outwash is where the glacier's been. And I am not wading through the water, but yeah, this used to be where the trail would go, but now you've got to cross the creek. Well, this is where the glacier was in 1961. So all these trees that you see have grown since 1961. Because unfortunately they don't grow underneath ice. Here's another raging creek. Cute little bridge. Little snow melt. And this is where we start going up. This is where the glacier rode over bedrock as it retreated. As you can see, it's pretty well worn down. It just kind of carved its way back up through the valley. The cool part is you can actually see the lines where the glacier retreated. You can see them pretty well up here, where it was from either retreating or when it advanced. This is a pretty easy trail. It's got a little elevation gain, but nothing extreme. Nice little staircase. Here you can see where the glacier ripped through here.
Yeah, we're right between rainstorms right now. So I'll keep my fingers crossed I don't get too wet. Those are moose nuggets. And as you can see, a lot of wood and bark in there. There's the glacial outwash. This whole valley, as you can see, as the glaciers receded, it was the full width of this valley at one point, and it's just slowly retreating up. And those of you that were with me on my hike, yep, my calves, today is the first day in the last 4 days that my calves haven't been just screaming. But again, that's part of the process. You got to get back in shape. All right, I'm gonna put the camera away so I don't trip and fall down. Definitely don't want to fall off any of these ledges. Just a sudden stop at the bottom would probably be a little rough. I remember this used to be a choose your own adventure how to get back here. It really wasn't that big of a trail. It just kind of weaved all over through here. Just about to where the glacier is. Oh, got an angry squirrel. I always like this bench. It's kind of in a cool spot. Used to be able to see the glacier from here, but it's slowly retreating. That is a cool bench. That's the first little glance right in the middle of the screen of the edge of the glacier. All right, I gotta go downhill and then back uphill, so I'm gonna shut you off. Here we are. There's the glacier coming down. That rock right there. And that one are what's known as glacial erratics. So as the glacier advanced and retreated, it picked up rocks. And then as it retreated, it deposits them. I've seen them as big as houses down in eastern Washington. Definitely a little cooler as you get closer to the ice. Get my phone out and take some video. Hopefully the wind's not too bad. So I lived in Seward in 2000 and 2001. So the glacier was actually right where that gravel pile is at the very point of that mountain. That's where the glacier was when I lived down here 25 years ago now. And then it slowly retreated, and about 10 years ago, right there at that point, where the creek goes around the corner is where the glacier was the last time I was here. Well, not the last time, but the last time I'd been here in a while. So that is where Exit Glacier is currently, and it is a ways up there. And the only way to get to that's by the upper trail, and we didn't take that today. That's the 8-mile trail that you gotta hike up, and it goes up over this ridge and then just kind of parallels and goes up to the glacier, or the Harding ice field, which is at the very top. There's the stairs going down. They've made a ton of improvements on this trail. It used to just be like a goat path. Quartz seam right there. You can see it all over through the rocks. Couple small avalanches up there. Alright, we're gonna go different way back to the parking area. It's been 20 years since I've taken this trail, so hopefully I don't regret this in a few minutes. Sorry about the squeak, that's my bear spray holster. It seems to be making noise for some reason. Maybe it's been on too many adventures. I like this. Steps carved into the rock. Nice trail. I mean, it's primitive, but it's pretty decent. I definitely walked on way worse trails than this. That's what the trail used to look like going down to these places. That rock's loose. So, well, it's a little bit drizzly, not too bad. I haven't got too wet. It's been a nice hike. It's a nice gradual hike, nothing extreme. Met a nice family up by the upper viewpoint. We took their picture for them so we could get a family picture at the glacier. And now we're just heading out. definitely think of worse things to be doing, like sitting on my couch. So why not get out and enjoy what nature has to offer? And Alaska has a lot of things to offer. I'll just stay on the main trail. It looks a little less abusive. Headed back towards the parking lot, and we'll go down here and cross that second bridge that we saw earlier. There's an old scar from where a moose ate the bark off. Doesn't seem to kill the trees, at least not most of them. They definitely trim these willow down as the winter progresses. So just passed some hikers going the other direction, and they said there's a little bull moose up here. So we're gonna see where he's at. I see you. There you are. That is a little bull moose. If I can get a better spot to see him. He's hiding well. Just enough trees in the way you can't really see him very well. I wonder if he was there when I walked by and I didn't even see him. So I snuck up the other trail. And that's the moose. Again, see his ear moving. Hopefully I'm steady enough. There he goes. It's just in the wrong spot to get good video of him. Just too much stuff around. But this is the Harding Icefield Trail. And it's a little early to be doing that trail because we're right here, and right about here is a snow line. So that whole upper trek, no way. At least not in the snow. Yep, and I've seen lots of bears out here over the course of time. Well, I'd like to thank you all for coming along on my hike to Exit Glacier. We're on our way back. Got about a half mile to go. Back to the pavilion. Yeah, I got to see a small bull moose. He's still growing his rack, but he won't be legal size this year. And got to see the glaciers receding a little further, but not too much more than when I was here last year. So anyhow, thanks for coming along, and if you like the video, please hit like and share. That'll help the channel grow. I guess I missed the ginormous glacial erratic. I walked right by it. There's a couple more, but those were placed there with machine. And there's the old adventure Vanagon. There's still a little snow on the edge of the parking lot. There's the old hot rod. Well, here's the van again, and that is Exit Glacier several miles away. We just finished our hike up there. Got a better view from here than you do closer to it, unfortunately. And there's the hot rod. Thanks for coming along. Hope you enjoyed. If you did and you've made it this far, please hit the subscribe button. Let's grow this channel together. This is why we hiked when we hiked, because I knew this was coming. And I don't like hiking in this. While I'm not a fan of rain, this is much needed. We need to get greened up before we get a forest fire going or something while all the grass is still dead. So this is definitely going to help the grass get green again. But yeah, this is why I hiked earlier today and not in the afternoon like I was